our side of it. And I think it was Freeman was guarding our side, and the infantry would guard their side of the fixed bridge so that no Germans could cross it. I was out there for 4 hours. Dark, artillery coming in. I guess the Germans knew they knew where to fire from because their home, it's their home, and they know how far it is to every little town and bridge and everything else. So they give us a bad time, having that bad a time. I tell you, I thought I was a goner. I thought when I went up there to die, why didn't I pray? I don't remember praying. And I thought I'd be dead in 3 minutes. And, we were fooling around in France, staying with the troops in case they needed us. And then when the Battle of the Bulge started, they gathered us all up and put us in trucks, and we went on the trucks to Belgium, Luxembourg first, and stopped in Luxembourg, and then went to Belgium. There's a place that I remember called Rim Champagne, I called it. I don't know how they pronounce it. And we were there for a while, and then they went on into Belgium, Bastogne area there, and we had pretty rough around Bastogne. Find a place to sleep, otherwise get in the sack and sleep on the ground. So I talked to the people, and I got to know some of them. Our rations they gave us from the Army were 10-in-1 rations, they called them. So we were getting 10-in-1 rations, big box like that. Bacon and sausage, and it had everything in it almost. Well, I'd been staying at this woman's house a lot. I think she must have been 70 years old. And so I could speak enough German, I got acquainted with her. I lived at her house as if she was my mother. And she'd cook a meal, and I'd sit down at the table with them. And I was driving the Jeep. We went around to all the sawmills that they were getting lumber from, and picked up the paperwork. Took us all day. All day. They bought a lot of lumber. And Germans got rich on us. You wouldn't believe that, would you? You're at war, and people are trying to kill you, and you're buying stuff from them and paying them for it. Oh yeah, I had an SS trooper shine my shoes. He just told him, get out of here. Shoved him off. Pretty soon, the guy came back, yakety-yak, and he told him, said, I guess a German could understand him. Somehow, anyhow, he let him know that he'd shoot him, but he didn't get away from that. He wanted to surrender. So that's the way the Germans were surrendering, by the hundreds. And you couldn't collect them all. Halt. And she looked at me. She took a few more steps. And I said, halt. And when I said halt, I shot. It hit about 3 feet in front of her in the ground. She turned around and went back. Then I found out that it was her husband. It was one of the prisoners we had was her husband. One had just got away from me. I trailed that guy through the snow for nearly an hour, I guess. I could see his tracks once in a while. I was in the forest. And right up where the railroad track came down like that, the snow was, well, over my head. So I'm always behind. I'm the smallest guy in the bunch. I can see guys going this way. I can see guys going that way. And then I've seen this guy go that way, and then he disappeared. I thought right away the guys started laughing. So it took me a minute to get up there. The sergeant, staff sergeant, I think he was in front, and all of a sudden he disappeared. And I got up there, the guy was standing there looking at him. He'd fell in the foxhole. It was full of full of snow.